Welcome back. So in this video we're going to be looking at judgment, the way that we judge people, the way you may have been judged, and how we're going to incorporate that into the video. It will just be a short video because the subject itself is enormous, but if it's something that you like, then we can introduce it again at a later point, maybe a part 2 or a part 3. So let's see where it goes. And don't forget to get in the comments and let me know what you think, and we'll go from there. So let's get on with today's video. So I'm going to introduce a guest that's going to be sitting opposite me, someone that has the experience of judgment, platform work, mediumship in general, and come up against brick walls, and we're going to share that experience. So let me introduce my guest. Hiya. So welcome
you.
along to the channel.
Thanks for having me.
In this outfit, that's a very different outfit that you're wearing today.
Well,
the people are not going to be used to seeing you dressed like this unless they come along to a demonstration.
There is that. So, and this is how you'll see me in a demonstration, but you're wearing a silly hat, so I don't know.
Oh, the hat is what it is. You know, I feel comfortable. Like
we get subs like that.
Something I enjoy wearing. So.
Do you think people listen to you?
They sub or they don't. They find value or they don't.
Well, true. Very true, I suppose.
So, shall we get on to the first part of this? I've had to make a little list because there's obviously a lot to cover.
Let's do it.
So shall we get on and start going through these little notes? There's not many because I don't want the video or the edit to be that bad. It's going to be a nightmare. But I don't want it to be super long, so just a few minutes, and we'll just touch upon your experience or what you found along these bullet points.
Okay, what you got right there? Yeah,
let's do it. So firstly, is everyone meant to be nice? Because it's the spiritual aspect. You're entering a spiritual church or centre, or you're going into the community of spiritual. What are your views on that?
Well, I think we're naively doing that, aren't we? We go in and, you know, we think people are going to be nice because it's meant to be spiritual, so we get caught up in like the naivety and what we've read or what we do. So it's just maybe if we tone down the naivety, then it doesn't hurt so much when things go wrong or we see a bad side to people. So for me, there's not everybody's nice, and unfortunately I found out the hard way with people, the way that they act and talk and do and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean. Okay, thanks. Nice answer. Hopefully some people can get something from that. So for the next stage of our discussion, should it all be love and light? You know, you see across YouTube, other channels across the internet, you see other mediums. So what is the love and light aspect that we're working with here? Is it present all the time? Should it always be there? What's your views on love and light? Well, God, this is again a huge subject. We'll have to maybe go over this again at some point, but we've all seen the channels where they're greeting people with a silly voice, or they make things much harder than they are actually meant to be, and they use the banner of love and light to get this across. Place themselves on a pedestal, make it unreachable for some people, and make the mechanics so difficult so it feels like you're never getting there. And so the love and light aspect for me is tinged with negativity and falseness, a mask that they wear, something like that, where it's not real, and you see a lot of fake people. I don't mean fake mediums, I mean fake people with a projection that they are giving out.
I think we've all seen plenty of that ourselves. We can all work that into our journey somewhere along the line.
Absolutely, absolutely. So a nightmare, really, a nightmare.
Okay, again, thanks for answering.
So I know you have many stories on this next one. You know, what does it matter what we wear? So a good example would be my beanie, or you know, maybe I've got tattoos all over my neck, my chest, and my arms, or whatever, wherever. You know, have you ever come across a judgment like that? Absolutely, I get judged quite a lot for wearing silly hats like that and t-shirts and tracky bottoms. I get all of that myself, you know, and people think you're a particular person, like you're dressed that way, so you can't be law abiding or something like that. And again, we get that with people that have like neck tattoos, chest tattoos, or they're immediately put into a box, and it's not the spiritual way as such. That these people have feelings, they are real people inside. I'll never forget, I'd done a demonstration with a medium, and she immediately went to a girl with pink hair, and she caused all sorts of problems by talking about a lifestyle that this girl had clearly had not done, but was branded that way because she had bright pink hair and tattoos up her arm. It was a massive mistake by the medium. And so I knew exactly how she felt, because I get judged that way, I get treated that way. Even in airports, I'm stopped and bags checked, all that kind of stuff, because of the way I choose to dress. We shouldn't be judging people that way. Where the actual part of spiritual does not bring into that at any stage, and yet we all do it. Okay, again, thanks for answering. I'm sure the viewers will take something from that also. Now, you are no stranger to people judging how you work. You've come up against a lot of brick walls along the way, right and wrong ways, and all that kind of stuff. Would you like to talk about the way people work, how they should work, or what's right and what is wrong, and see if we can get something along the lines of judgment here also? Okay, I always use like the number 9 as a really good example. You know, like 5 and 4 make 9, 7 and 2, 6 and 3, 8 and 1, they all make 9. But no one way is right, is it? So I'm very mindful of this, and in my own style of work, I've been told for many, many years that I'm doing it wrong, or I shouldn't do it that way. And because of that, I hit many, many brick walls. I like to ask the communicator, what's their story? What are they about? Let them decide what's going to be said, what the spirit world wants to talk about today. And I would be told that I'm doing it wrong because I'm not going direct, or I'm not presenting it in a way that they want to see it done. So you hit many brick walls along the way. So the best way is your way, the way that you can get good evidential statements out, you are accurate, you are confident in the communication, and it's working. Then surely that's the right way for you. Surely that is the way that you should be working, not like another version of someone else, which a lot of people are going down that route at the moment. I think what's your story is the best way to do it. The spirit world, the communicator, know what they want to talk about. Of course they do, providing it's clean. I mean, this is a whole video you can do again, just on this one subject. This is such a huge area. So, yeah, your way is the best way. Perfect. So, is there only one way to work? I'll let you discuss. I'll let you discuss that one. Okay. Well, I think we've just answered that one in the last way. You know, your way is going to be the best way to do it. And because of that, it's the way that you develop your relationship with the spirit world. You know, I hadn't had any teaching. It was a lot of self-teaching. And then once I got up and running, I went and did it my way. I argued, I didn't agree with a lot of teachings that I received. And many other people are kind of trying to work with someone else's philosophy. It's all about developing your relationship, your philosophy, your truth. So I'm being treated special, so that'll be by the general public, or by the chairperson or the church or the centre.
Um, Again, I know your experience. I know what's happened there. So do you wanna discuss that? Just have a minute or so on that. That'll be, maybe they'll get something from it.
Okay, so as always, when you go into a church, you get palmed off into some broom cupboard somewhere or a little medium's room, have a cup of tea, you're kept separate. And a lot of the time, this is the medium's fault. They're special. They need to be kept away from the normal people. But we're normal. We're normal people. We're all normal. So I think it's just treat it as normal. It's only of the mind. And again, there's a lot of judgment in that area. So I would just be you. That's going to be the best way to do it. Just be you.
Then as we get to this last piece, really, it's just, as I said, it was just to touch upon the subject of the judgment way of the spiritual community, and it's fair to say I think you've had your accounts of it there, but what about those that are developing? You know, they may encounter things like rumor. Maybe they hear things about themselves, and yet the people are being nice to their face. How would you deal with this scenario? Because I know, again, the experience. I'm sure you've had to deal with this. What do you recommend for people that are gonna embark this way if they find it upon their journey?
Oh, they definitely will find it on their journey, absolutely. And I was someone that had fallen foul of people talking about my relationships or what I'm up to or where I am, and then it spirals out of control because other people are talking about it. I mean, these are professional mediums or professional technicians within a spiritual field. It's going to happen. People are doing that. That's human nature. And what I try to do is I try and take my own power back. I don't get caught up in the games anymore, which I did, of course I did. And I would try and defend myself and try and explain certain aspects. But if people are going to talk, they're going to talk. And so the real power is not engaging in it. It's about staying within your own power. That is the power. You, as the individual, are the power. And by allowing someone else to speak badly and it affecting you is the personal responsibility. Let it go. Don't let the words of someone else impact you or harm you or hinder your development. The relationship you're developing with the spirit world, it is unique to you. It goes on with subjectively in your mind. And just let them get on with it. Eventually they get bored. Granted, sometimes that's 2 or 3 years down the line, but eventually they back off. And in that whole time, while you've not been paying attention to it, you've been developing while people are just too busy talking about others.
So thank you very much for answering all the questions. I hope the viewers get some sort of value out of it, which is, it was a test run. We'll see how it goes. But I'm going to go back to my normal stance now. You can go and get changed, and I'll round this up in the usual way in a moment. So thank you. Thanks for joining me. Do you want to say bye to the people?
Okay. See you later, everyone. So thanks for having me.
So thanks, and I'll see you later. So back to the old stance.
So, although we've had a little bit of fun there and, I get to test out my editing skills, this is a very real problem that goes on within the spiritual community. And it is something that very much needs highlighted and stamped out in certain areas. Please be mindful before you start talking about someone or whipping it up around a circle or a community. Remember that the person on the receiving end of that has feelings. It may impact them mentally, it may impact them physically within their everyday lives. And not many people can upstand to that kind of attack or people coming at them. So as a spiritual person, be mindful of the power of word, what your words can do and how they can damage or fuel rumour, etc., etc. So be mindful. I've raised this because I've received a number of inboxes asking me how I got through it and what I did and the kind of character that I am. How do I let it run off of my back? And this is something that through time you have to develop. That you go into the public eye and it is something that's very, very difficult to deal with. And it's only through defiance or proving people wrong that you get through that. It's part of the journey. Unfortunately, it's part of the journey. But it would be nice if the spiritual community was all spiritual. That would be a wonderful thing. You can't slag people off in circle or talk behind their back and then stand on a platform and preach about angels and natural law, reaping as you sow, or doing techniques and then going off and talking about other people and their decisions within their life. That's not how spiritual works. So be very mindful, and before you express your words or the action you're about to take against someone, just ask yourself why you're doing it. And then in that moment, hopefully you will make the right decision. I thank you for joining me. I thank you for letting me play around with the editing. If you enjoyed it, maybe we'll do it again, maybe we won't. We'll see how it goes out to the community. But if you did like it, give it the thumbs up. Get your comments down there because, as you know, that helps the channel. Subscribe if you aren't already. And I will see you all next week. Thank you for watching.